Next one. Would you be okay with your friend doing business with your enemy?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I can't go to the Max B party because you're my friend. Yeah.
Why?
Because you my friend.
What?
Yeah. Talk about it.
I heard some shit about you. Heard some shit about you on the internet.
About me too, man.
I heard you got kicked. What they say?
Flavors. Got that horsepower, baby. That's a nice bigger valve. I use it myself.
Man, this whole situation is looking insane right now. Like almost too insane to pass as something accidental. This feels like it's either the slickest podcast rollout the culture has ever witnessed, or somebody over at the Let's Rap About It podcast is boxing up their belongings and turning in their key card before lunch even hits. There's just no universe where this wasn't strategically mapped out, because the timing is way too sharp and way too dramatic to blame on coincidence. Last week, after Mino refused to pop out to Max B's welcome home celebration out of respect for his loyalty to Jim Jones, the internet immediately lit up. But then the very next day, Dave East slid into Max's dinner like it was nothing, smiling, posted up, acting like the whole room wasn't thick with silent tension. That single moment had the streets roaring, like really roaring, and people wasted 0 seconds hopping online to throw their opinions into the fire. The conversation got messy instantly, and everybody wanted their take to be the loudest. Some folks started calling Dave East disloyal on sight, saying he was moving wild just for being present in that building. Meanwhile, others were defending him with their whole chest, reminding everybody that Dave never had a single issue in this situation to begin with. Dave got records with Max B, he cool with him, and honestly, that point held weight. Dave never had personal beef with Max. So why would he skip a dinner he was personally invited to, especially when the invite came straight from Max's mouth? And let's be real, Dave East wasn't sweating the drama at all. He wasn't feeding into the noise for even a second. He knew his foundation with Max was solid. He knew he was good with Max's circle, and he knew chances were high that everybody would end up crossing paths that same weekend anyways. That's exactly why Dave laid out his dinner fit. Like it was the first day back at school, this man showed up prepared, confident, and untouched by the outside chatter. Dave kept telling people point blank, I know exactly how this rap game works. One week, everybody's screaming. The next week, they dapping each other up like nothing ever happened. And the only person who ends up looking dumb is the one who picks a side too fast. He's been repeating that like a mantra. Then yesterday, that brand new podcast episode mysteriously leaked, and whoever dropped it understood exactly what they were unleashing, because the audio was absolutely chaotic. Davies finally laid out his entire reasoning to Mayo and Jim Jones, and the way he spoke, calm, steady but firm, made it obvious he meant every single syllable. And look, I already know the comments are about to go crazy with jokes like, why a grown man asking another grown man for permission to hit a party? But honestly, I respect it. That's real communication. That's clarity. I'd rather somebody say, yo, I know you ain't rocking with this person right now, but they got hookah, they got bottles, it's a whole vibe, and I'm sliding. That's grown energy. That's how adults handle their circles. I don't know what Jim Jones truly feels deep down about it, but you gotta salute Dave East for not picking sides like some rookie. And let's keep it a buck. This is perfect content for his podcast. He knows the entire internet is waiting for him to speak on Max B, waiting for that moment. And he knows everybody wants.
This is crazy. That's what they put. The internet kicked you off.
I can't rap about it no more.
But people don't know. You see, both of us have different opinions. I think it's both that two, because I always feel like two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
Right. You felt one way, I felt another way.
Right.
You went to the party, but you had already had a conversation. Talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like I never was around him, Max. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we had our own relationship through who we know or whatever. And me being around Jim as long as I've been around Jim, and Jim being around my moms and my kids, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta holler at Capo, like, yo, bro, how you feel about that? Because I got invited. directly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna definitely have that convo with bro before I just pop up and he got a head about it. Like, that's just me.
No, it's definitely honoring it, bro. And I think, like I was saying, like me and Fad was talking earlier, as individual men, we don't always have to have the same opinion, right? I felt like because of the relationship I didn't build with Capital over the last 5 or 6 years, that I just felt like it wasn't in me to go stand next to anybody he had an issue with or whatever, because the relationship is strong and it's past.
Wants to hear how he says it, because tone tells you everything. And this is where the story jumps into a whole different gear. During that leaked podcast audio, you could literally hear the room freeze up when Dave started breaking down how fast the streets flipped on him. 1 minute they praising him, calling him real, calling him solid. The next minute they cooking him online, calling him fake just because he showed love to Max B. That pressure was hitting him from every direction without a break. Dave explained that as soon as those photos dropped from Max B's dinner, his phone went ballistic like he'd done something criminal. People blow him up with questions. Why he showed up, who brought him there, who he sat next to, all kinds of wild interrogations. He said it felt like folks were acting as if he betrayed somebody just by being in the room, and he wasn't having any of that. In his mind, he moved exactly how any grown man with his own relationships would move. And on top of all the noise coming at him nonstop, he was still at the Jets game yesterday like nothing could faze him. Outside, cooling, living regular, unbothered. Meanwhile, Mayo, you were there, and people were acting like y'all pulled up together, right? But absolutely not. Mayo said he didn't even see him, and folks got to understand how wild that assumption is. You're talking about an 80,000-seat stadium. 80,000. There's no guarantee you're running into anybody. And the only reason it even became a conversation is because of the connection to Let's Rap About It with Jim Jones. People know Mayo has a real relationship with him. That's why he had to break it down piece by piece. He said he understands he doesn't come from the same world a lot of people online come from. If he's been in your home, met your parents, built an actual bond, that means something deeper. That's not industry. That's real life. He said he doesn't feel right partying or linking up with someone you're actively at odds with, especially when the relationship is personal, not just business. That's a principle he stands on. Seeing somebody in public is one thing. Going out of your way to connect is another. Two truths can exist at once. He can respect the relationship he has with Jim, and it still doesn't mean disrespect to anybody else. It just means he's clear about his lane. So when they asked him if he would have taken a picture with Max if he had run into him, he kept it honest. He couldn't even say, mainly because the moment never happened. And the bigger point? That man just beat 75 years. That should be dominating the narrative, not some conspiracy about a stadium coincidence. The priorities online are wild. And Max was at the game too, by the way. He got caught on camera clear as day, and that alone should shut down half the noise. Mayo stressed again that when his bond with somebody goes beyond professional level, he's going to respect that every single time. That's who he is. And when they brought up that he and Max were cool long before all this, he didn't deny a thing. He said, yeah, they were cool, and most people don't even realize Max started pieces of his early career coming to Brooklyn to record with them before he linked with Jim Jones. But that relationship never grew as deep as the one he has with Capital. It's simply not the same thing. He explained all that respectfully, because no man should feel a way about loyalty rooted in something real. This is someone he breaks bread with, someone he makes money with, someone he does business with, someone whose family he's close with. That bond got heavier over the last 5 years. Same with Jim. It's just a different tier. When you've been inside someone's home, know their parents, share real life with them, that's not a bond you compromise for optics. His principle is not going to let him go out of his way to link with somebody that a person he's genuinely connected to has a problem with. Even if he's not pushing that problem personally, even if he thinks the issue should have been dead already, he can't move like that, because it's not his call to make. He said he'd love for it to be over. He'd love for New York to be unified again. Max B already said he squashed it with Jim Jones, but Jim hasn't said the same yet. And Mayo kept it honest. He's been pushing New York unity for 5, 6, 7 years now. In a perfect world, everything would be smooth, but it's not his job to tell another man how to settle his grievances. All he can do is acknowledge where his own relationships grew and stand firm in that. And then Dave told Mino and Jim straight up, I'm cool with both of you, and I'm cool with Max. I'm not burning bridges over problems I wasn't even part of. That landed heavy across the room because everybody knew he wasn't capping. He's sitting between two camps. Try to move like a grown man without getting dragged into history that predates him. The wildest part? Dave said he didn't even think the internet would explode like this. He thought the dinner would stay low-key until somebody in that room started posting clips like they were freelancing for a gossip blog. Once that happened, he knew the noise was unavoidable, and he had to face it head-on and speak his truth loudly on the podcast. But the moment that had everybody's jaw hitting the floor was when Dave revealed what went down before he even stepped foot into that dinner. He said folks around the city were already whispering, making it seem like he picked a side before he even picked out his outfit. That's how fast the narrative shifts when your name gets mentioned alongside Max B and Jim Jones in the same breath. Dave said he started getting calls from people warning him. Yo, you know this might cause problems later, right? And he just laughed because he wasn't beefing with anybody. He told them flat out, I'm pulling up to celebrate somebody coming home after years inside. And somehow that pure, simple energy made people nervous because nobody knew how the story was going to twist once the cameras came out. Then he dropped something that shook the whole room. He said when he walked in, he expected maybe a camera or two, regular vibes. But he did not expect the entire dinner to feel like a full-blown movie production. Lights everywhere, phones in every corner, people whispering, folks setting up angles like they were shooting a mini-doc. And right then, Dave knew something was getting leaked because the vibe felt way too staged to stay private. When he told Mayo and Jim that, both of them went quiet because they knew exactly what he meant. Someone in that spot wasn't just celebrating Maxby being home. They were building a moment, and they wanted Dave standing front and center when it happened. That whole setup felt intentional. And at the end of the day, Dave East pulling up to that dinner showed something people always forget. Everybody has to grow up eventually. Nobody is trying to fight. Nobody is trying to spin blocks. Nobody is looking to end up back in jail at this age. Most of these guys are deep into their 40s and 50s now. The history they carry shouldn't dictate their entire future. If Jim Jones can make peace with French Montana after everything between them, there's no reason he can't eventually sit down with Maxby too. It might take time, it might take the right moment, but that conversation is coming. Honestly, I can even see Maxby popping up on Let's Rap about it sooner than people think. Jump in the comments and let me know what you think about Dave East giving Jim the heads up. And make sure you subscribe to Drip Zen, share this video, drop a comment, smash like, and help push the algorithm by tagging that hype this video button until it turns blue.